Okay. Welcome back, everyone. So let me increase my volume. Thing here, I'm doing a live broadcast, but then the volume is not high enough. So I think it's high enough now. Okay, so let's get right into it. All right. So um, I'm trying to get something here in my settings. Just give me a second. Okay. All right. Sharp. We are in. Now, let's look into the forex market. Okay. Welcome everyone once again. Today is another week. This is the second week of December. All right. Second, right? Yeah, second week of December. Uh, Today we're going to be doing another live analysis. All right. So that we know what to expect for the week ahead. All right. And then we have another one on Wednesday to know how we're going to end the week, or at least if the buyers have changed or not. All right. So in the meantime, let us go in and look into Forex Factory. Let us know the kind of news that we have for the week. All right. And then once we know the kind of news that we have for the week, what to expect for this week, then we now know how to navigate from there. All right. So let's take a look at to Forex Factory. Now, this is our calendar over here. All right. As you can see from here, on Monday we have Italian bank holiday. So basically, that is the only thing that we have for today. I'm just using red folders on holidays. Okay. I'm not using orange folders or yellow folders. Nah, none of that. It's just red. Okay. I want to know the major ones that are coming out for the week. So for today, being Monday, we only have Italian bank holiday. This simply means that the market might be a bit slow today, especially for Europeans. So you might want to like take a note of that. Then on Tuesday, we have the cash rates and RBA statements for AUD, for that's for Australia. Okay, we also have the press conference. And all right, so this here is for the AUD. Then by 10 a.m., we do have some news on JPY, okay, on the yen. All right, their governor, the governor of their Bank of Japan governor is going to speak. All right, then on I think it should be by 2:30, but it's saying 10:30. But when they say 10:30, it means that it might or might not happen. All right. So it's for the USD, which is coming later that day, usually around 2:30. We also have another one by 4 p.m., which is the job openings. Okay, job openings. All right. So then on Wednesday we do have another one again for the USD by 2:30, employment cost index. We have another one by 3:45 for the Canadian dollar. All right, we have their overnight rate and bank rate statements. 4:30, their press conference. Okay, that's basically an hour later. Same thing that's going on over here is going on over here, but then an hour later, right? Then by 8 p.m., okay, they're going to release the federal funds rates, okay, for the USD. Everybody's already expecting a cut in rates. Okay, we're expecting a rate cut, which should be driving the dollar downwards. Okay, I feel like most countries is trying to like cut their rates and all, but like as you can see for AUD, it is still the same. It's still the same for Canada. It's 2 for the dollar. Everybody's already trying to price in on this. We have been talking about these rate cuts since last month. Yeah, the USD is actually going to take a dive. All right. So that's for Wednesday. Okay, so that Wednesday is going to be a very big day for us. For those of us that trade the USD, especially even though you don't trade the USD, it's going to affect the market all around. Okay, because most currencies are actually pegged to the United States dollar. So it's something that you have to take note of. Then on Thursday, we have the employment change for AUD. All right, employment and unemployment change. This is by 1:30. So if you're trading the Asian session, take note of that. By 9:30, this one should be for Swiss franc. Okay, CHF. They have their policy rates. Okay, their own rates. All right, it's still 0 0. I don't think they're planning on rate cuts or rate hikes. None of that. Okay. So this one's for London session. This one is also for London session. They are going to bring in their press conference 30 minutes later. Then by 2:30, as usual on Thursday, we have the unemployment claims. So it's something that comes out basically every single Thursday by 2:30 p.m. All right. On Friday, we only have one news for the whole day, which is going to be on JBP. All right, is going to be their GDP. So we see an increase, a forecast on increase on their GDP. So we're going to be sat and watch for that. Okay. So now that we looked at the calendar and seeing what we have for the week ahead, all right, let us go into our charts, okay, and then we now see one or two things there. Maybe we might find some setups there that we might like and all of that, and from there we'll see how the week goes, right? So now let's get into our charts. I started this live, I think a minute or two late, so I was just trying to like clean my charts. I want to start with a blank chart for the new week ahead, all right, so that I'll have a clean mindset, a clean mind. Well, we might actually end up like doing some drawings from the previous week, okay, just to like recall some things. So let us start with DXY. So I don't think I cleaned this chart apparently. But yeah, let us clean this one here. We start from the weekly time frame, and then we make our way down to the 1 hour, or we make our way down to the 1 hour, or perhaps the minute time frame if the price action allows. Okay. So looking at the weekly time frame over here, okay, first thing that I'm noticing now is that currently DXY on the weekly time frame is bearish. All right, to me it's very much bearish. Okay, so now let's take a look at this. First we have this, which is a sweep. Okay, we price in on a sweep there, then we now made a change instead of delivery. Okay, Peru, basically I would have liked for us to close below this particular low here. All right, we don't have any close below that. But because of this change instead of delivery, I feel like we are okay for a smooth sailing. Well, the whole bias is still somehow sketchy, but I believe that this will actually help us to price in on those rate cuts. The rate cuts is going to be by Wednesday, right? So if DXY actually manages to get back inside this particular candle that created the change instead of delivery, then I would for sure say that, okay, yeah, we have some hope of like entering here, having that change of character around here, and then we now go down from there. Okay, so basically we can have the high of the week on Tuesday. Then I'll be like, okay, it's looking good for this week. All right, you already know where to start looking at. All right, so basically we're going to wait for price to get back inside here. Okay, then on the daily time frame, this is where it begins to get more convincing. All right, because now we do have that break of structure fully set in here. Okay, even though on the weekly it's not really looking like that, but well, we still have this sweep here, but then a break of structure here. So to me, it's still basically valid. Okay, so I want to see price entering inside this area. All right, and then possibly a dump from there. Probably we might come here and take this guy here, or this one here. I don't know the particular one yet. Okay, so I'm going to be watching out for price reaction. So, but for now, I'll say that price is trying to go back to the premium part of the range. If you're looking at premium, where should that be? Let us see. Premium is around this area. So basically, I think this one is now being invalid to me. Okay, I want to sell from the premium price. Okay, basically above the 0.5, and then if I can sell from the premium, then I'm very much okay with that. I just mentioned something. I said that I just noticed what I said just now, that the XY should get here by Tuesday. Nah, that's not happening. I just realized that I was in the weekly time frame. I thought I was like in the hourly time frame or something. My bad. Okay, so getting back to what we are saying, to me, the XY is still bearish regardless. Okay, until proven otherwise. So I'll be expecting price to basically use this here as maybe endorsement liquidity. All right, and possibly, just possibly, we could see this fair value gap here being used. Okay, don't regard the size of fair value gaps. All right, all fair value gaps matter to me. Small, big, all of that, they are all valuable. All right, so long as they are in the right place. So yeah, by the way, it's still inside the golden zone, so I think it's quite okay to me. But it's until price gets there. Okay. So jumping down another time frame, because right now it seems like price is just low-key ranging. All right. So I want to see what we have below. On the 4 hour time frame, this is what we have here. Okay. On the 4 hour time frame, we see here that we had a sweep. Okay. Break of structure. Price came back down again. came up once again, but then we don't really have a close above here. It's not really that convincing to me. If it's breaking, if it's not, if it's sweeping above and sweeping below, to me, that is an indication of a consolidation. All right. I don't want to see price sweeping up, sweeping down, sweeping up, sweeping down. That does not need to happen. It's not necessary. All right. So basically, I'm going to just wait for price to just do its thing. All right, and show us the original direction or the main direction that we're supposed to go for. But whenever I see that there's a consolidation in price, usually I try to wait for some sort of manipulation, because whenever I see some accumulation that is consolidation or a range, usually that means that there's a manipulation coming in, either to see the buy side liquidity, which is around here, or sell side liquidity, which I believe would be around here. Okay, so this is the range that we're working in with right now. Okay, and I need to see a manipulation from either side. If we get the manipulation to the downside, it's actually going to be better for me. Okay, because I'm already expecting price to start retracing. Okay, so if we indeed get that retracement, then I guess that will serve our purpose. Okay, but so far so good. We just have this sweep around here. Okay, I don't know if we're going to start going bullish from there or not, but let's hope so. Let's go down to the 1 hour time frame and see if we have any other things there. Okay, even though the price is low key ranging, we shouldn't really fail to like look into what price is trying to give us, right? So let's just say that's going to be like a low probability setup in case we do have a setup here. So we do have this sweep. Do we have a high? And I think I'll need to go lower to a lower time frame to check that out. Okay, we do have a high here. Okay, we made a high around here. So if this high is valid, okay, it means that this here is going to be the candle that broke the structure, right? So we needed another candle to come around here. Did it touch it? I think it did. It did. Yes, it did. So basically, this is where price reacted from. Okay, so this here is our order block slash change through delivery. All right. So this here is another block. This here is my break of structure. All right. Price came down here, touched the other block, and now it's pumping from there. So I believe we are going long from here. Right. My stop loss should be either here or the sweep level, whichever one it is calm. Then I would aim for the nearest liquidity, okay, which should be this here, this high. Okay, the subsequent one is going to be here. So this is basically the game plan or what I'm seeing on DXY right now. DXY, I believe that DXY is going to be bullish for today. Right there. Yeah, to me DXY is just bullish right now. So I would be expecting I would expect other pairs like UJ. Did my network drop again or what? Okay, okay, we're back. So I would expecting something like UJ to go up. I'll be expecting USDHF to go up. Okay, most of them should actually be somehow bullish right now. Okay, then for pairs like EU, GU, and the rest, I'll be expecting a little drop on them. All right. So let's see if that can be observed in those charts, right? So now we are seeing DXY, or what DXY is trying to give us is trying to show some sort of bullish momentum there. Okay, so now because UJ has been giving me a very nice time recently, let's go to UJ and observe what we have there. Firstly, we start from the weekly time frame. Okay, we have to pay our respects to the weekly time frame. Price came down here. I'm not sure. I think we closed above the 50%, right? We did we? Let me see. Yeah, we did close above the 50%. So this family gap here is still very much valid. So this here, I shall just brown this for a start. At least would have been better. So yeah, even though we came all the way down here, this family gap is still valid because it's not closed below the 50%. That's when it's going to be a low probability family gap for me. When we close below the 50%, okay? So for now, this is still valid. All right. The daily time frame, what do we get there on the daily? On the daily time frame, let's remove this from here. We do have a nice sweep. So a sweep. I would have loved to see a break of structure this is where price came up and came down, right? So basically, you would need to see something around here, like a break of structure is going to be from this area. So what I would have loved to see is like see price going up, coming down, then going up again. Okay. If you're going to keep on with the bullish momentum that we have been having on UJ all this while. And moreover, we do have a little fair value gap here, right? If I'm not mistaken. Let's see if we activated that. I believe we did. Yeah, this is the fair value gap here on the daily time frame. Remember what I said, all fair value gaps are valid. So we are still obeying this particular fair value gap, not bad. Um, let us see what price is going to do in the lower time frame. Okay, let's go the 4 hour. So in the 4 hour time frame, this here was the sweep that we saw on the daily time frame. We can now see that I don't know if you guys might recall, but I mentioned something about that last week. Was it last week? Okay, no. It wasn't with you guys. Sorry, never. Oh yeah, let me say it again. Okay. When price closed, was it on this Friday? Yeah, it was on Friday. We closed around here, okay, and we opened around here and started going down from there. So basically, I said that we had already made a break of structure over here. This is the kind of the broad structure, all right. Then we came down to this fair value gap, all right. So this happened earlier today during the Asian session, all right. There's a fair value gap here, there's a sweep here, break of structure is all valid. So now we have two POIs here basically that price reacted to. Number one, we have the fair value gap. Number two, we have the order block. All right. This order block is still very much valid. This is where the order block started counting from. And this is where the fair value gap started from. Okay. So both POIs are very much valid, although the fair value gap was somehow, violated, but we'll still count it regardless. And now we just closed above this particular high of this candle, which I would assume would be well, it's not really a very very nice break of structure, but I feel like in the lower time frame I see that better. Let's check the 2 hour time frame. Okay, yeah, in the 2 hour time frame is now looking better. Okay, this here is the break of structure. Then that would mean that this whole thing here is now becoming another block. All right. So basically, that's to say that you would have something like this here. This here would be the best case scenario. We'll come back. What even happen with this candle right now? Okay, so this here is our other block. Okay, about 43 pips. All right, and where are we going to aim to? Now, something that I noticed on UJ was that we have something like a trend line coming down here. Okay, something like this. Okay, we have a trend line there, and most times, personally, I like saying being swept because that trend line is full of liquidity. Okay, so if this trend line is actually full of liquidity, so we will have something like this. This is going to be our target. All right, I kind of like it. We have targets 1, 2, 3, and 4 utmost targets. All right, but yeah, this here should be my main setup for now on UJ. All right, I'm going to wait for price to kick back inside here, and then I'll now take a trade from there. So there are a few things that could happen here. Okay, on the 15-minute or maybe 5-minute time frame, it could go down when price gets there. Okay, and then you now take a trade from there. Okay, that could happen as well. Let's check the 1 hour time frame. I would like to see if you have any sort of fair value gaps, order blocks, inverse fair value gaps, all of that. So waiting for my connection here. Okay, so we are back. So now, one thing that is worth noticing is that we can now refine our order block a little bit more to the 1 hour time frame, which will now become this. All right. So this here is the refined order block. We can now push price down here. Okay. We went from 45 pips to 39 pips. So 45 pips to 39 pips. I think that's a good change, right? It's a good change. 39 pips is better than 45. We can actually, well, if you're trading with high lot size, then you can actually increase your lot a little bit if you have a particular set risk. So I think that's okay for me. I'm waiting for price to come back down here, and then I'll take a buy from there. Okay. Besides that, I don't really see much of any other fair value gap. So okay, we do have the inverse fair value gap here. Price could definitely use this place. All right. Yeah, most definitely. We could actually use that particular setup there. Okay. Then what else? So we have to choose now between one or another. Just give me a second. The safest POI for you to use here is actually going to be the order block. Then the second POI that you can use could be that inverse fair value gap that we have just here. All right. And if anything from the inverse fair value gap, then this here would actually be our entry, which is going to give us 27 pips overall, which I find quite nice. I feel like it's quite just give me a second. I'm trying to place the trade too. Okay. So that I don't miss out on it. Sometimes I do analyze and I end up the trading partner wants to kill me because of that. I don't want it to happen again. So yeah. So yeah. Trade has been placed. So now give me a moment. Just a moment, guys. Okay, I'm back. So as we were saying, you have to either use the order block or the inverse fair value gap. All right. Personally, I think I'll just bank on the inverse fair value gap. It's on the 1 hour time frame, so I trust it. Besides, if price starts to like retrace from there, we would likely see price coming back to the um discount area, right? So the inverse fair value gap is not that bad. Let's check into I don't want to look at Euro USD. There's not me a lot of that. Like it keeps leaving my entries behind. All right. So and I don't really appreciate that. But let's look into it anyways. Some of you might actually be trading that Euro USD, so you might want to see it, right? Okay, so now we're looking into Euro USD. All right. As usual, we should be going from the weekly time frame all the way down to the hourly or the minute time frame, provided what price gives us. All right. So it's all depending on what price is going to show us today. Okay. So let's see. Euro USD, we have a. I thought that by now we'd have closed this above this candle here, but well, let us continue watching, Sha. So last week it was bullish. We actually swept this high, so that is something to worry about. So we would want to see this candle closing above this one here. All right. Um. Yeah. If you want to continue being bullish on EU, we have to like close above this particular high. All right. This particular week over here. Otherwise, we will likely be going down. Okay. On the daily time frame, we have any other indicatives now? Nothing. So on the daily time frame, we have here that EU has a fair value gap here, which is being obeyed for now. All right. On the daily time frame, we do have that break of structure that we're looking for on the weekly time frame. All right. Let me mark that there. Break of structure, fair value gap, break of structure here as well. So we would want to see price aiming for this high, okay, or aiming for this high around here. Okay, that's just for like to have a target. Let me mark this one out, and I want to mark this one out as well. Okay, so two targets there in case we're bullish. Do we have any? Okay, let us refine the fair value gap down to the 4 hour, which should be this. Okay, so this is the fair value gap that we're working with. On top of that, we do have a little. I don't know if I consider this a sweep, because for me to see it as a full sweep, at least if the least that we could have done is to actually close above this candle, but we don't have any of that yet. Instead, we are sweeping this particular candle. So we saw a sweep around here on the weekly time frame. This here is a sweep on the 4 time frame as well. That's why price came down here, reached out to this other block, and then continue going down from there. But I thought that maybe we are just going to do that just to get enter inside this fair value gap and then pump from there. But at this point, at this point, EU is just giving me double mind, right? So this here is a clearer sweep, right, than this one around here. So probably, just probably, we might be heading downwards. Okay. So yeah, I think we are heading downwards. All right. So this here is the sweep. I think I would rather check the 30-minute time frame instead. I want to see if there's a break of structure around here. Okay, anytime now, trading view. All right, we're back. Okay, so let us look into this. Let's look into this. Yeah. So if we are actually going bearish, right? We should be closing fair value gaps, which is what we did around here. After we close this fair value gap here, look at what happened. Price came here, closed below this low, okay, showing that there's a possible what's it called again? My bad, guys. My mind's not really here today. So we close below this low here. This here is a change to the delivery. Alongside that, we have a break of structure. I wouldn't really call it a major break of structure though. But like, yeah, we do have a change in structure there. Price came back up again. Did what? Touch this inverse fair value gap, right? So this here is an inverse fair value gap that price is using currently to push itself to the downside. So far so good. It seems to be very valid. Price came into the inverse value gap, went down from there, right? So what we need to see right now, we need to see it close below this low over here. Okay, that's the main thing that I want right now, is to see us closing below here, right? So if you can get some of that, then definitely any other up close candle that we're going to see here is going to become another block. Let's check the 15-minute time frame and see what happens over there. I just hope you guys are not hearing all this background noise. Yeah, I really hope so, because it's really noisy here. I hope my noise cancellation is working. All right, so let's look into this. Yeah, this is getting interesting. So now, we're actually making a sweep around here. All right, this is a sweep on the 5-minute time frame. So if you can get a close below here, when I'm working with the lower time frames, I love seeing close below the lows and below, yeah, and above the highs. I don't really trust the whole chain of delivery in low time frame. I don't like to see that. Okay, so if you can actually do something like this, then I would expect price to actually come back and tap us from here. Since this one is the lower time frame, I rather use the opening of the fair value gap and inverse fair value gap. Okay, so you would have something like this. We'll be selling from here. Where are we going to be selling to? Well, that is left for us to find out. You could actually sell to this low or to these relative equal lows that we have here. This is that 4-hour fair value gap or whatever. So this here is the target. This here is another target that we have here. All right. But then that is provided that we do have this universal value gap, provided that we can actually close below this low here and then come back here. Okay, so I would need to see that before taking a sell on EU. So targets would be around here. This is a 1:2. It's not something I can take. This one here is a 1:4, which is actually something that I can take. All right, so I think I'll believe that EU is trying to head downwards. Okay, At the same time, DXY was showing me buys, isn't it? And EUJ was showing me buys as well. So I believe that the sales on EU might actually be settling in. Then at the same time, I think I had something before, right? Okay, it's already been touched. That's the fair value gap there. But then again, we have this guy here, which could actually be another block, all right, for price to come from there. We should definitely look at as well. Let's see if there's anything there. Okay, so that is basically at the OTE. So I believe we might be heading to that other block. All right. So let's see what happens next. Okay, this is a setup from the 5 minute time frame. I don't really like it, but it's the best thing I have right now on EU. So it's also a trade idea. Okay, so we keep that there. We look into DXY, UJ, EU. Let's look into JPB USD. So we have JPB USD, weekly time frame. Let's see what we get there. Okay, so okay, I feel like this is much more clearer, right? So okay, let me show you guys. Look at this. Sweep, right? What is the breakout structure? Breakout structure happened around here. Okay, that's valid, that's gone. So now the new breakout structure happened around here with the fair value gap, which shows that this is a very nice um fair value gap there. Okay. And now we could actually use this as another block from the weekly time frame. Weekly. Okay, I shouldn't have said it like that. It sounds very sus, very strange, right? But yeah, anyways, if this is indeed another block here, then this is going to be our target. Okay, a very large. So basically, it took like what? How many weeks to get here? So it's going to like basically take a lot of days for us to get down there. Meaning that if you can get this a setup on the lower time frame, it's going to be a very sweet trade. Okay, so basically, this here should be like the other block that we're working with, or inverse fair value gap for that matter, which so far so good seems to be holding up, I guess, right? Although I don't really like how we did it here, but well, I can't beg, right? I can't choose, so we just react to it. So inverse fair value gap. Oh, we actually have equal highs here. Okay, this is nice because whenever I see equal highs, the first thing that comes to my mind, okay, there's a reversal coming in. All right, so yeah, I believe that we're going to have a reversal here now. So yeah, I'm definitely banking on the sales on UJ right now. We already have the sweep on the daily candle. This one here was swept by this candle here. So I believe that we should be seeing a setup today, a sell setup on GU. Okay. So now let us look into this. We do have a sweep here, breakout structure, more like a change instead of delivery. And then the main breakout structure just happened now, which is this candle. All right, this is the main breakout structure here. Although, but I'd love to see another one around here, Sha. Well, you're going to work with what we have here. This price is very sketchy right now. Okay, it's very sketchy here. Some people would call this a pennant or a flag or whatever. They would be like, "Oh, this is going to be a bullish setup." So if this is actually a bullish setup, I'd love to see it doing something like this, clearing this high, and then going lower from here. Okay, so let us see if you can have anything that will give us a better sense of direction on the lower time frame. Okay, I clear this out now. We don't have any sweeps around here. That's a problem. Um, we don't have any new lows, like any strong low. Okay, just basically sweep. So I think I'll just wait for GU to like show me a better setup. I don't want to enter in a market that I'm feeling confused. All right. I like something that gives me more assurance that it's going to work. So yeah, I'm going to just sit back and relax for now. Let us see how price is going to behave from here onwards. Okay. So that's going to be GU for now, but I'm bearish on GU. All right, I'm bearish on GU. We have a very nice inverse stability gap there from the daily time frame. So I will be waiting for that. Okay. And then once again, shoulder, head, shoulder, right? So probably we could be seeing some new lows being formed soon. Nice low to be formed, and then maybe I'll. Okay. Okay. Sorry about that. My connection dropped for a minute. Okay, so like I was saying, let us look into some of my favorite pairs. We have GU, we have UJ, we have already looked into those ones. So we now have gold, Nasdaq, and BTC next. All right. So now let us look into that. Okay. Starting it up with Nasdaq. This I don't know how many of you can remember that we had from Monday. I think I talked about this one on Monday morning, even before that Monday. So we already had it set up in the previous week from around the Sha. So yeah, they sort of worked out. We ended up taking TP. This is 6 to 9, basically a 1:7. All right. Then aside that, we did have a fairly gap here on the 4 hour time frame. Let me just go to the weekly. Okay. Let me go to the weekly and let's not start afresh. I don't think we need to be recalling all the events that happened before. All right. So as you can see, it was bullish for last week. Okay. I'm still expecting to see another bullish close for this week and probably the next one. I want to see us having a new all-time high before the year closes. Okay. So that might actually happen this week with all the rate cuts and all the news that we have for this month. We might actually see that happening very soon. We already have the sweep, everything is already priced in. Once we actually have the new all-time high, we're going to get back inside this range. Likely, if you can close with a bullish candle this week, then there's going to be a fairly gap here where price is going to come back to after we make the new all-time high. Okay, so it's going to be something like this. So but then let us go into the lower time frame and see what we can get for now. So on the daily we see that price is actually very slow on the come up. Okay. We close with a bullish Friday, bearish Thursday. We use this fairly gap, push price up. Other block came down here, push price up once again. I don't know about this one here. So I don't really see much on the daily, okay? But I know that we are bullish. So far, so good. The price momentum seems bullish, okay? 4 hour time frame. What do we get on the 4 hour time frame? On the 4 hour time frame, you see here that okay. I don't know. I can't recall what happened on Friday exactly, but like on Friday we saw a very large candle coming up, and I think what actually happened on that Friday? I cannot recall. I cannot recall. But I'm still very much bullish on this. Okay. What is that 4 hour fair gap that I was even talking about? Okay, look at it here. There was a 4 hour fair gap here. Price came down there, came down again for this other block after the break of structure and pushed up from there. Um, weak. We're just weakening everything. This is a fair gap. Loki got invalidated, but still worked at the end of the day. I think I had a buy from there that day, and then it did not work out. Anyways, over here at this point, I would say that price has already tried to break the structure. Okay, not a very clean break, but it's something. So 1 hour time frame, sweep came back inside the range, broke through, right? So this here is a break of structure, meaning that this here is the dealing range that we're working with right now. So we might want to be focused on this. All right. So if this is our dealing range right now, then our answers or the answer that we wait, calm down. This is a break of structure, isn't it? So we came down here, other block pushing up. So now this here is the range. Okay, although we don't really have a new high, so it makes things somehow fishy, but we could have this fair gap being used on the 1 hour time frame. All right. Almost. There's still possibility that price will come back there again. Okay. So if this is the case, then I will wait for price to come back to this fair gap. Okay. Definitely, I'll be putting my stop loss here because I need to be safe. All right. It's not like price is behaving. Is showing me the best behavior right now. 30 minutes time frame, the fair value gap basically disappears. But we do have a sweep there. Okay, and alongside that sweep, we do have what could be other blocks. So I think I might take a chance here and place my trades from here. All right. So I think I'll be working with this. Do you have any endorsements? No, because if this sweep is valid and price ends up closing above here, it may actually validate this here as a setup. Okay. Basically, what we have here is what we are seeing here coming all over again. But then, what I want to check now is we have price in the premium, or we have price in the discounts. I mean, we have a PY in the premium or discount. This here is in the premium. This is in the discounts. And this here is actually inside the golden zone. So to me, this is actually more valid than this one that whatever price is in here. This actually might be a fake out, a fake setup, just so like to trap traders inside there. Okay. So I'll still be banking on this one. All right. This is going to be my order block. My long position is going to be here. I'm going to give it some little space, but I'll just leave it here, okay, at the low, just to be safe. Then my primary target is going to be this high, and my ultimate target is going to be this one here, the all-time high, giving me a 1:12 basically. All right. So this is what I'm going to be working with for now. Literally just this. All right. This is for DXY. So Nasdaq. My bad. So let us look into BTC. BTC is actually kind of sweet right now. Okay. So I think on Wednesday, was it on Wednesday? I think I did talk about it on Wednesday. Yeah, I did talk about it on Wednesday that I was expecting Bitcoin to actually come down from here. We had a break of structure. I think it was from the 1 hour time frame. I saw a sweep here. We took a trade, brought it down here. Then I was now like around 88K. I'll be expecting price to come. Now, why are people asking me why 88? If you look at it here, at 88, we have a very nice key level. High, 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 another one here, another one, another one. There's a bunch of highs around it, meaning that price is reacting to this particular level a lot. Okay, so that makes it a nice place for you to actually be looking for buys. Okay, so that is a key level there. So this is the key level. My buys was actually priced at 88, and from there we now saw that at 88K we started going up from there. Okay, I think this Bitcoin, I don't really need to like go to the daily time frame overall. We have done this a couple of times. So on the weekly, I already told you guys that we are bullish. Okay, I still have that bullish bias from the weekly to the daily to the 4 hour time frame. All right, so but let's just go to the 4 hour just so that we can get something straight there. Okay, we have a sweep, we have a break of structure, price came back down. Use this glass candles here as another block. Okay, now what we are doing here is that we are breaking structure once again. So basically we have this as a possible breaking structure. All right, and if that is the case, then this here is going to be our dealing range from this low to whatever high that we make. Okay, we are going to identify the high when price starts to retrace. For now, price is not retracing, but when it starts to retrace, then we're going to find the POI here. Now, what is my POI that I've observed so far? Since we've already used this area here, it's no longer valid. What we want to see is something inside here, right? We have a fair value gap, we have an inverse value gap, we have another block, everything within this area. So I would assume that we are going to use this fair value gap here, all right? And I wait for price to start retracing back. Okay, so if you trace here from fair value gap to the upside, okay, where am I going to price everything? Well, let's go back to the 4 hour time frame where we saw all that stuff happening. Okay, number one target is going to be this high. Number two targets, which other high do we have here? That's very nice. Okay, we do have some key levels around here, so this could be another target. Then we now have at 107. All right. Personally, Bitcoin to me is very much bullish, so I'm going to be looking for buys only. I'm not interested in the sales right now. Anything sell, I'm not interested in that. Just buys. Coming down to the 1 hour time frame, we see here that that fair value gap on the 1 hour can be now refined to the 1 hour. Okay, giving us this. So if price eventually comes back down here, what I would want to do is to see if I can take a buy trade from this fair value gap. Stop loss here. We traded up to the high of the day, I think daily time frame or day about, yeah, daily time frame. Okay, then if you want to hold it higher, then you can hold it to this place, which is where we have the key levels. There's another one here, which is the high that we saw at 107. All right. So personally, to me, all those ones are valid. Okay. So not a financial advice, but take as much as you need, I guess. So yeah, I'm going to go with this particular fair value gap here. Okay, and I'm waiting for that to happen. I would have loved to see, as price is going up like this, I would love to see a little downside, another break of structure, and then coming back down again, because it's going to make this be a very sweet setup because of this one here, this low here. Okay, so we'll be seeing something like this if possible, so that we'll have endorsement liquidity. It's very nice when setups have endorsement liquidity. It gives me this confidence that, okay, we have already set liquidity, so we're using the POI and we are going to move up from there, right? So it gives me some extra confidence. So I would love to see that. I would want to see what price is going to do next. Okay, that's for BTC. Now looking into gold, what do we get into gold here? Let's go to the weekly time frame as well. Weekly time frame, right? On gold, as of last week, we actually made a very interesting decision, or price made an interesting decision. It swept. It swept this high. All right, that's crazy enough for me, because like, why are you sweeping if you're going to be if you're supposed to be bullish? There is no reason for you to sweep there. All right, but then we did create a fair value gap here. So could it mean that we are coming down to the fair value gap on the weekly time frame? So it's a very possible indication that we might be bearish for now. All right, possibly this week we see a bearish gold. So looking at it here, this is the bearish fair value gap on gold on the weekly time frame. But then we have one, it disappeared here. Okay, but then we do have one here on the daily time frame. All right, hasn't been used, hasn't been mitigated, so I think it's clear, it's okay, not that bad. So, and to top that, we have a sweep here and another sweep here. Two indications that, okay, we might actually be shifting to the bearish side. Might. Okay, I'm not saying that we are. Before somebody say, oh, Jay said that gold is bearish. No, I did not say that. I said that it might be bearish. Okay, gold is currently giving some, mixed signals like that X. So possible liquidity sweep here, or liquidity grab. Price is now trying to go to the downside. Inverse fair value gap, so far so good. I would say that the fair value gap and the inverse fair value gap, they are both being respected, sure, but like, depends on price, on what price is going to do. You can have it close below here, and then price could definitely come down here, come back to these two guys here, and then go down from there. All right. But most specifically, I would love to see that if we can close at least below this white candle that we have here. All right. To see something like that is actually very nice for me. So I think I'll just wait for that to happen. Okay. I don't even want to rush in on gold, because people have been collecting SLs on gold back to back. I don't think I've really seen people that have been hitting take profits on gold like that. Okay. So gold is very trickish right now. We need to look into that. So far I've not really been trading gold. Okay, I'm not really a big fan of gold at the end of the year, because it's going to deal with people. Like, I experienced it myself last year. So I just decided to like just be trading currencies and indexes. Okay, indices, sorry. So yeah, that is for gold. Okay. I'm expecting to see some downside movements. Just with same thing with GU and EU, but for now it's just a buyers. So let me mark it out here. That one is out of value. So I would love to end this by 12. Okay. I don't take much of our time. 1 hour is already more than enough. I think I thought and I was analyzing at the same time. So yes. GJ. Okay, so if you follow me on X, you should have seen this setup today. Okay. This is coming off from the fact that the GJ is actually bullish on the weekly time frame and the daily time frame. If you jump down to the 4 hour, you see this fair value gap that we have here on the daily is there on the 4 hour, and on the 4 hour you find it again on the 1 hour time frame. It can be refined. Okay, so this here is the fair value gap on the 1 hour, which is also on the 30 minute time frame, Okay, so after that, we do have a nice fair value gap here too. We touched with a sniper. All right, it was a sniper entry. So this here is the setup that I had since last week. Okay, I put my studio. I'm aiming for the high, not this particular high, of course. There was another one that I was aiming to. I think it was from the daily time frame. I can't really recall. I think it was the all-time high that I was saying. Okay, yeah, this one here. All right, this is the setup that I'm seeing on GJ. Okay, that high there on the daily time frame is the one I'm aiming towards. Okay, so this is going to give me a 1 is to 5.7. All right. So is there going to be any entries? I do not know, but well, let us check the lower time frames and see if you can find anything, any clues, anything at all that could get us to that. Okay. So far so good. Let me hide this. Price currently is moving to the upside in a very nice way. Okay. So let us look at this here. This here is a fair value gap, right? Mini fair value gap. Price touched it, moved up from there. We're now trying to break above this candle, isn't it? So maybe let's check the 15-minute time frame. Okay, on the 15 minutes, we see here that there's another fair value gap, change to delivery, price came back to this inverse fair value gap, and now it's pumping from there. So now, this is what I'm going to do. Yeah, it's going to be kind of risky, but I'll do it anyways because I need more entries on this. When price closes above this black candle, I'm going to take a buy from that black candle all the way to all the way up. Okay. Better still, if you can close above this high, then definitely I would love to see price going back inside this black candle again and moving away from there. So at the end of the day, if you can get that, we should be left with something like this. You can even give it some space, maybe put below this candle since it's the candle that formed the fair value gap. Just as an extra um guarantee that you might be okay. Where is the all-time high from the daily time frame? I'm not seeing it here. Well, anyways, I think you can work with this. Should be working with this for now. This is going to give us a 1 is to 6. So yeah, there we go. There we have it. Okay, have a 1 is to 6 there. That's for GJ. All right. I think I'm going to set an alert here just in case. I want to be observing this one close. All right, so what next? What's next here on our list? One more, right? Yeah, just one more for the culture. Let me analyze JPB CHF. Okay, so I've been having a little beef with this particular pair because I'll have a setup, a very beautiful setup, clean setup, and yet this guy will ignore me. I've been ignored like 4 times. I've had a worse time with girls than with this. I mean, I had a better time with girls than with this JVPCHF. I don't think I've had this many rejections before. And to be very honest, I feel offended at this point. Okay, so yeah, weekly time frame we close bullish, bullish, bullish. So we might close in with another bullish setup again, unless we manage to sweep this place, which I don't see it happening. Okay, because we're after this high that's here. So this is the high that I'm aiming for on the weekly time frame. What I would give for price to just come back inside this fair gap and then pump from there. Like just something simple like this. Okay, it's not too much to ask for. Okay, I'm not asking for too much. I just need one setup, a very clean and nice setup. But yeah, on the forward time frame, what do we get? So far so good. Price seems to have swept these highs over here. I would assume that these are equal highs, so we might have a change of hearts here. We might be looking into selling right now. Possibly since this fair gap here was on the daily time frame, we might come back to this position though, because like it is too. Oh, we'll work with what we have anyways. Do we have any other? Okay, we have some key levels around this area, so maybe, just maybe, we're actually looking to the right direction. Yeah. So let's wait for that to happen. So we have now refined the fair value gap to the 4 hour. Okay. Let us see if you can have a setup on the lower time frame. Now, I want to just make notion of something. Remember what we saw on GU, yeah? GU was bearish, and this one now is giving me some bearish vibes too. Look at this. We have a break of structure down here. Price, I guess this was like equal highs, and price used it. Maybe we see that in the lower time frame. But I feel like there has to be like another block here alongside some liquidity here. Now price is reacting to it. Price already come here before, made a low, made a new high now. This high is sweeping this one. So yeah, I do believe that you're going to see something like that. Ignore that these candles here are very huge. When you see two candles that have a lot of momentum in it, and whenever you see two candles that have too much momentum, one going up and one going down with basically the same force, that just shows that there's a manipulation there, there's a sweep there. Okay. And at the same time, we do have a nice fair value gap here in what was supposed to be our other block, right? And so far so good. That fair value gap is being respected. Yeah, yeah. So yeah, this here is definitely some nice manipulation. So what I would wait for in a scenario like this is to see price closing below here. See these two white candles here. I'm going to use them as my other block. Alright. Which on the 1 hour time frame, I believe it should be cleaner. Yeah, this is the okay. Look at this here. This is the main guy. Okay, so yeah, I think I'll just work with that. I'll just work with that. Let me check the 15-minute time frame to see what we get there. The fair value gap is still there. So yeah, I think it's very much valid. So I'll just wait for price to come below this place. Then I want to like sell from there. Where are we selling to? Oh, you already know. But this here is like equal lows, right? So I'm going to just use this as a target. Okay. Secondary target should be this area here. So yeah, 1 and 2. If I can get something like that, I would be pricing in here. Put my stop loss around this area. Then TP should be here. 2.6. Not bad, but I'm gonna be taking this setup because of that. It's not enough for me. I need more. I need at least a 1:3. It's part of my trading plan. So yeah, this is all I have for now. Okay, I'm going to be calling squits here. We draw the curtain for today, and I'll be seeing you guys again on Wednesday morning. All right, London session, 11 a.m. West African time. All right. Um, if you enjoyed this video, if you're still here with me right now, okay, be sure to like drop a like, subscribe. Okay, it really helps the channel. So thank you very much for coming, and I'll see you guys on Wednesday.